If you think that food comes from a grocery store, then you've got to meet Farmer Earl. Farmer Earl, how long have you been on the farm here?
30 years here.
Stanley's Old Maple Farm. What do you grow?
Soybeans, corn, hay, cattle, horses, make maple syrup.
Maple syrup doesn't get more Canadian than that. So Trudeau's got this carbon tax. It goes on fuel, but ultimately on fertilizer, and then raises the price of everything in the farming supply chain. Tell me what the carbon tax does to your cost.
Fuel and fertilizer are two of our big inputs, and they're growing up very quickly.
How much?
50% in the last several years.
Fertilizer fuel up 50% over the last couple of years. That, incidentally, is as the carbon tax has been rising.
Everything has to go up accordingly.
So when the farmer pays more for the fertilizer to grow the hay, to feed the beef, and then the fuel to transport and dry the grain, that goes onto the price tag that the consumer pays to put that food on their plate.
Correct.
Everything from field to fork becomes more expensive when you tax the fuel and the fertilizer. Trudeau wants to go with a 61 cent a litre carbon tax. How much is that going to raise the cost of everything that people eat?
It's going to increase our costs dramatically.
Right. What does that do to your operation?
We take a little bit on the chin and reduce our profits, but we also have to pass it on to the consumer as well.
Right. So it's a tax on food.
Tax on the consumer.
All right, so if you like to eat, and now that you know that food doesn't come from the grocery store, that it has to come from the farm here, on Old Stanley's farm, then it has to go in a truck, which also requires fuel. Now you understand that a carbon tax raises the cost of everything in the supply chain that goes from this field to your fork. So my plan is to axe the carbon tax to bring down the cost of fuel and fertilizer, which will bring home lower food prices. What do you think?
Needs to be done.
It's common sense.
Revolution.
Let's bring it home.